Hi guys, I haven't done a video on the Source Music versus Min Heejin case in a while because things have just been moving slow with it. The hearings keep getting pushed back, and even the August 22nd hearing didn't provide much new information. What did happen though is the court has officially deemed Min Heejin's KakaoTalk messages admissible. Going forward, Source Music, BeLift Lab, ADOR, and HYBE can legally use these chats as evidence in their case. Let's take a look at what happened during today's hearing, but obligatory disclaimer of course. The court is directly quoted saying Min Heejin's KakaoTalk messages cannot be considered a violation of the Communications Privacy Protection Act. Various circumstances such as password sharing point toward evidentiary value being recognized. Therefore, the KakaoTalk conversations submitted by Source Music are adopted as evidence. For reference, the Korea Communications Privacy Protection Act governs the processing of personal data in South Korea. Under this law, Min Heejin's side argued that the KakaoTalk messages were accessed without her permission and involved private communication which should be constitutionally protected. The court shot these arguments down citing password sharing, which means there was no expectation of absolute privacy, and the content of the logs weren't subject to privacy either. It was also decided that the case will proceed with oral arguments. The court did not see a need for presentations at this time. Min Heejin's side once again protested to Source Music, potentially quoting content from her KakaoTalk messages within their oral arguments. In civil cases, arguments are generally public, so the court found no need to preemptively restrict Source Music's right to argue. If needed, Min Heejin's side can object along the way, and the court will judge according to legal procedures. This basically means that Source Music will be allowed to argue their side, Kakao messages included, but if they go out of bounds, then Min Heejin's side should object at that point, not now ahead of time. Source Music even noted that Min Heejin herself summoned reporters for a nearly 2-hour press conference where she disclosed KakaoTalk messages with other people. They plainly call it unfair for her to now say her own messages which were lawfully obtained cannot even be cited. Well, in the interest of fairness, I do think there is a level of distinction here. In America, our privacy laws can vary, and some states are a one-party consent state. What that means is if someone is party to a conversation and they want to record or disclose it, they're allowed to without consent from the other party in that conversation. However, someone who is not party to the conversation does not have that same right. So I think Min Heejin's side is basically saying there's a difference between her disclosing her chats with other people compared to Source Music disclosing chats they aren't party to at all. Although I acknowledge that distinction, it doesn't matter because the judge has already stated these logs were obtained legally and she had no reasonable expectation to privacy here. The next hearing will be November 7th, and there will be no preemptive restrictions on what statements may arise. The essence of the case is defamation and business interference, with Source Music asking for 500 million won in damages from Min Heejin. I guess we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching and please subscribe for future uploads.